Cool. So, the question I asked those guys over there, well, I'll just ask the same thing. What do you think about peace for all sides? Like, the people came here to protest anti-racism. Is there an open door or possibility for peace?
There's no peace.
Yeah, that's what they were saying over there too.
Period.
Yeah.
And there hasn't been any justice.
Yeah.
And there hasn't been, and so therefore there's no peace.
Yeah.
And you got all, and it doesn't, you know what I mean? It was a whole lot of people that was Trump before Trump was the president.
Yeah,
He's a Berkeley resident, so you might want to.
I'm an Oakland resident.
Oakland resident. I'm sorry.
But I'm from Oakland. This was Oakland. Berkeley was Oakland, North Oakland, before it was Berkeley. Period.
Yeah. And honestly, what kind of a peace is the question, because we wouldn't be out here, like, we got stuff to do during our day too. You know, we wouldn't be out here if we personally didn't feel victimized. We wouldn't be out here if we weren't incredibly concerned over the future of ourselves as people of color. Like, I am a first generation immigrant from a Muslim majority country. And everything that's been going on really does concern me. And I think that the people calling for peace are calling for complacency. And they don't understand the gravity of the situation simply because they are not on the chopping block.
Right.
They see their community on these events on a much more superficial level, in which they're just seeing conflict, but they're not getting to the root of things. And that's for them to actually, if they truly want to stand in solidarity against racism, they got some learning to do, because we're not out here, this is not a two-sided conflict where both sides are at fault. One advocates for genocide, the other is against it.
Yeah.
So it's not, we can't get peace until the calls for genocide end and there's reconciliation.
And then also,
on their side.
And then also for the people who are out here that are trying to become a part of organizations to really fight against racism and truly fight against fascism and things like that. If you're a part of that organization, your morals and your pride and your dignity matters, but your surface reality is no longer should exist. You shouldn't be worried about another individual and what they're doing on their spare time, or what they're doing. If you're organizing, you know what you're doing. They should never be a topic of conversation, because that becomes a distraction. And those people can be those main people that are a part of your organization. And the people who like to bring up personal spikes like that and inside of an organization, something that is supposed to be organized, that tears down every organization out here. And that's period. Point dot. You can't organize with no organization, and you cannot organize something and then say you want to stop it, especially something such as racism, and you have not experienced it, but you know everything about it. You know everything about the struggle that people, and you know, this is not a damn pity party. You know, nobody's looking for no damn pity. This ain't 4 acres and a mule. That's not what this is. This is straight up. This is a free land. This is a free country. Everybody should be able to come together. Everybody should be able to thrive. Everybody should be living in homes. It's too much land available for people not to be in the homes. It's too much land available for it not to be a grocery store instead of a liquor store on every block in a neighborhood. It should be a grocery store. It should be a pantry in every neighborhood for those who cannot afford it. It should be jobs available at those places that are getting government funded, that are not actually helping the community, but thriving off of stealing money out of the community when they get a deficit for it to benefit the actual neighbors that are in the surrounding areas, for rather it be small business loans. Instead of taking that money and putting it into the actual community, they take that money and hide it, like that $10 million that they've been hiding in San Francisco since Mayor Willie Brown was the mayor of San Francisco. That was for small business loans. They take it, they hide it, they store it, they keep it away from the people. They don't put it into anything besides a new academy or school somewhere that is helping people or passing other laws that are stopping people from teaching the proper material that needs to be taught, which is the truth, in schools. And it's not being taught out here. People are trying to get away from here. They're trying to get away from here because they can't live where they was born. First of all, when they can't live where they were, they were born and had to sign on to this place. How do you have to sign on to this place? You have to get a social security number. People that come here, they're not immigrants. They're people that happen to say, I want some difference. I want a difference in my reality, and I want to change that difference, and I'm going to come here and I want to live here and create a different reality for myself, because the reality that I live in, I know it's something else outside here, just like the people that are here that are trying to get to those places to recognize their reality, because we're so distant from actuality and what struggle really is. When this place is built on spoiled brat shit. It's been built on a bunch of it's been built on just.
It's built on the backs of people who were too poor that, you know, the government decided that they're not worth saving, that they're not worth helping. Because so when you ask, like, can there be peace on both sides? It's not both sides that's got to try and make peace. One side is advocating for the death of the majority of the other side. There is no compromise there. There is no what are you gonna do? Like, kick me? You know? Are you gonna beat me to a pulp? Is that the compromise to death? Are you gonna beat the shit out of my family? How do you compromise? How do I approach you with love when you are literally advocating for my death? I don't have that much in me. And you know what? There's too many historical precedents, too many to count, that have shown that you don't approach that with that kind of mentality. That is how genocide develops. That's how it takes root in our society. And all we can do is wring our hands as more than half of our population gets decimated. And you want us to compromise? No. And so, you know, I don't advocate for violence. I want to be able to exhaust all diplomatic options, but it gets to a point where it becomes really frustrating because people hold more sympathy to a victim of a burglary and sympathizing with their right to defend themselves. But when such rhetoric is being constantly spewed, and not just rhetoric, but actual actions taken outside of these rallies, because these people are not white supremacists for one day. They are white supremacists 24/7. So when they spew rhetoric that incites hatred, and then when they go back to their families and then they go out of their homes later on and actually act on that, this is hate speech is not freedom of speech. Hate speech is a call to action, and that call is violence. That call is genocide. So